To reach a non-dual state of consciousness, you don't need non-duality. By this I mean you don't need to have a concept of non-duality. Right? The problem with having a concept of non-duality, which 100% will happen, we will develop a concept about non-duality if we listen to so-called non-dual teachers, if we read so-called non-dual scriptures. Even I've done commentaries on a few of these, Avadhuta Gita, Ashtavakra Gita, right? You know, we form concepts about things, we form concepts about what we hear, what we read, what we experience. We can even have a taste of that kind of state, and then we make a concept about it. Okay, that was what non-duality, right? So, for me, having any kind of concept about what we call non-duality or enlightened state, liberated state, Turiya state, it's not helpful. It's not helpful to have a concept about something that is, by definition, non-conceptual. Best to just let it be. And if we do read or listen, you know, we hear about this state, we hear about the natural state or non-dual state, we don't need to think about it, just let it be. I mean, if somebody is really in that state and they're talking about it, it should have its own effect that can kind of wash over us. So, if we're not going to have a concept about non-duality, if we're not going to think about non-duality, if we're not going to talk about non-duality, then how do we reach it? How can we reach something without having a concept about it? Okay, again, making concepts doesn't help us reach a non-conceptual state. This is something we've got to get into our heads, right? So for me, what do we do then? For me, on this path, the natural path, Avadhuta path, we have to look at what's in front of us. Somehow, right now, moment by moment, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, we are living in such a way that makes experiencing so-called non-dual state, so-called enlightened state, so-called natural state, we are living in such a way that makes that impossible. We are living in such a way that our only relation that we can have to that kind of state, to a liberated state of being, is through concepts. It's through reading books, listening to talk, then maybe we think we know something, maybe we think we can talk this and that. That's all that we can do. Why is that all we can do? Because we are living, not thinking or talking even, we are living in such a way that makes establishment in that state right now an impossibility. So instead of thinking about this state, instead of imagining about this state, instead of using thinking about this state, making concepts about this state as just another distraction from our own life, from the reality of our own day-to-day existence, right? Instead of doing that, we should pay attention to what's in front of us. Pay attention to how we are actually living. So we can see, right, what am I doing that kind of engraves me, solidifies me repeatedly into this heavy experience of what we call duality. I am this person, all these people are all the different people, we are all separate. How are we reinforcing that every day through what we do, through how we actually live? But people don't want to do this because there's other people there offering them, saying, no, you're already enlightened, don't worry. You're already in a non-dual state. You don't need to look at all of this kind of stuff. I'm sorry, but most of us are not in that state. Most of us are, to one degree or another, miserable. And we're miserable not because we didn't hear the gospel of non-duality yet, not because we didn't do our self-inquiry practice or read so-and-so's books or hear some magical foreign guru tell us that we are that. No, it's the way that we are living. It's the way that we're relating to others. It's the way that we're moving through life. The way that we are living is producing this fruit that we call our state of being. That's why on this path, natural path that I talk about, I'm not talking about non-duality as some abstract thing. I'm talking about life, patterns, how we are living. Are we attached to things? Are we attached to changing things? Is our sense of well-being linked to what appears to happen, to all the changing aspects of our life? This is real. This is something we can actually look at, and we can use it to actually pinpoint, yes, this is how I am suffering. So what I don't like about this modern approach to talking about non-duality and this kind of stuff is it offers an easy escape route. But for most people, that's not, it's not an escape at all. It's just another idea. It's just another concept. For me, we do not need any concept of a non-dual state, non-relative state, liberated state. We don't need a concept of it. We look at our present life, we look at what we're doing now, and we see, right, how am I binding myself? How am I tying myself in knots? How am I making it impossible to truly be happy? Because I'm attached to all of these different things. All of these things matter to me. It matters if this happens or this doesn't happen. I've got to have that. That can't happen. I can't let that happen. Right? If we start paying attention to these areas in our life and seeing where we can loosen up, where we can let go, then gradually with time we start just decompressing. Our consciousness starts decompressing. And whatever this thing is, non-duality, non-relative state, natural state, whatever that is starts to be naturally, organically reinfused into our life. And because we're doing it through life, not through our mind, not in an escapist way, not in a conceptual way, because we're doing this actually through the way we are living, we're taking our life, our day-to-day life, our ordinary life as the path. This state integrates itself naturally. There's no this thing, oh, I've realized this thing, now I have to integrate it. No. On the natural path, the integration is the realization. There's no latency between realization and integration, because the realization is embedded into our actual flow of life in the world. So if you want to reach these kind of states, you want to be enlightened, you want to be liberated, whatever, you don't need to have a concept about any of that. Look at how you are living. Look at what actually makes you suffer, what actually contracts you. And then see, can I let go a bit more? Can I have less expectations? Can I have less entitlements? Do I need to have this sense of ownership over everything, everybody, everything I do, every position that I take? If we do this, liberation becomes a reality and not just an idea.